Okay, boys and girls, we're gonna start our perspective drawings in our sketchbook if we're finished with our photographs today. So we're gonna use a blank page in our book just to make our practice drawings here using a pencil. You're also gonna need a ruler and then one of these square tracers and some markers. So I'm gonna start with my pencil first, and the first thing I need to do is make a big dot in the middle of my sketchbook. So this dot is gonna be where all the letters are going to come from in my perspective drawing. This is called a vanishing point. It's kind of like the letters are vanishing way back into this point, and they're all going in the same direction. They're in the same perspective. So looking at my sketchbook here, I'm just gonna flip it on its side so I have a lot of space to draw the long letters here. On the middle of my sketchbook and the top, I'm gonna make the vanishing point, just a little dot. Now from here, I'm gonna take my square tracer, just use any square, and I'm gonna use the same square to trace each of these spaces for the letters. So down below my dot, right down here, I'm gonna trace my first two and kind of space them out a little bit, right down below the dot. So I have one, and then leave a little space for the next one, two. Okay, now I have two letters on either side here. I'll go 3 and 4. Okay, one more on the bottom, on the back here, and 4. Okay, so I've traced my letters. The squares where my letters are gonna go. And from here, now I need to make some lines with my ruler. I want these letters to look like they're kind of popping out from this vanishing point using straight lines. So I'm gonna take my ruler now, and there's one rule of perspective. When I'm gonna take a letter and make it look like it's popping out from that vanishing point, I need to look at the corner points of each square and make a straight line going to the vanishing point. So I'm gonna start with these two squares here, then we'll do these two. So looking at this first square here, I'm gonna make a dot on each of the corner points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on this one, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of these corners, I'm gonna make a straight line that goes to the vanishing point. So I'm gonna put my ruler on this point and on the vanishing point here, and make sure they're both touching the ruler. I'm gonna hold my ruler really wide with 2 fingers so it doesn't kind of scoot around on me. Take my pencil straight up and down and make my first straight line. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the next point. This one is close to the vanishing point, so I'm gonna do that point next. So I'm gonna put my ruler on the vanishing point and on this first point here. 2 fingers really wide. I'm gonna kind of flip my fingers around here and then make a line from point to point all the way. Okay, looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna go to the next points here. The points on the bottom though, we have to make sure that we don't have a line that goes through our square. So when I put this point and this point on the ruler, so vanishing point and this point, look what happens. There's something blocking my line. If I was gonna make the straight line here, there's a line that's blocking me. So one rule is if there's something blocking me, I can't go through, because look what happens. If I try to go through, now it's gonna make my square look see-through, and that's not what I want. So if there's something blocking me when I try and make my line go to the vanishing point, I don't actually make that line, I skip it. So let's check this one. Put my ruler on the vanishing point and this point. And look, it looks like there's something gonna block me, so I don't make that line either. Okay, next square, I'll go on to this one. I'm gonna put my ruler on the first point of the square and the vanishing point and make sure they're both touching the ruler. Nothing's blocking me, so I'm just gonna go straight. All right, check this point, vanishing point on the ruler and the square point on the ruler. Nothing's blocking me, so I can go. All right, check this point. Looks like something's gonna block me, so I don't go. And then this point right here, looks like something would block me, so I don't go. So those are my first 2 squares done. They should look kind of like this in here. Now I'm gonna go onto these squares on the side here. So put a little dot in each corner so I remember I have to go and check each corner. Put the first corner and the vanishing point on the ruler together. Okay, nothing's blocking me, so I'm gonna hold my ruler down with 2 fingers really nice and flat. Put my pencil straight up and down, and then go to the vanishing point. Okay, next point here, I'm gonna check it out. Put my ruler, vanishing point in this point. I'm noticing something, boys and girls, as I'm trying to do this, I'm kind of getting a little bit messed up because of my sketchbook. If I wanna just take this page out of my sketchbook then, so I don't get messed up from the little wires. That's okay. Okay, this is much easier. There we go. Point, vanishing point, straight line, and go. Okay, let's check these two bottom points because these might be different than these squares. So this point first, put it on the ruler, put the vanishing point on the ruler. It looks like there's a little space here that I can go, but then this is blocking me. So I'm actually gonna go until I hit that space and then stop. Because look what happens. Now I have a little space on the side of this square, and I'm gonna keep that space there. That's the side of the square. Check this point. It looks like something's gonna block me, so I don't go there. Okay, last square, check these points. This one first, go all the way. This one next, go all the way. This one next. Looks like I'm gonna stop here. I don't wanna run into that square. And then this one last. And I'm not gonna do that one because something's blocking me. Okay, it looks pretty good here. I've got my points popping out of the vanishing point. Now the last thing I'm gonna do is just make my letters to spell my word. I'm gonna think of a 4-letter word, and it could be any 4-letter word. I'm gonna think of maybe doing the word love. So sketching out L-O-V-E on here, I'm gonna make just some shape letters. So block or bubble letters. If you're having trouble making block or bubble letters, boys and girls, an easy thing to do is just sketch out your letter first and then trace around your letter. And then go back in and erase the letter that you made from the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna try the O. So trace around the O and on the inside, and then erase the O. V, trace around the V, and on the inside erase that V, and then the E. Okay, trace around the E, and then erase that pencil E. All right, this looks pretty good. Now it's just time for me to color it. So I'm going to use some markers to just color these spaces. One thing I really like to do is I like to color these inside spaces black because it makes it look like there's a nice shadow on the side of these shapes here. So I'm just going to color these black. And then I can choose whatever colors I like for the letters and for the other sides of these shapes here that are coming right out of the vanishing point. All right, maybe I'll outline my letters. Okay, so I'm gonna think of some other colors I can put inside here, and I'm gonna color each of these spaces.